Simmons just had his fashion show in Paris, and I will never understand why these fashion shows are always so dark themed. I mean, just take a look at his models. Their eyes are all pitch black. I mean, every single one of them, there is no white in those eyes, and combine it with the way they walk, I mean, it just creeps me out. Even the people that are pulling up to these shows, I mean, they go all out, dressing very artistically, and there was some really high-name celebrities here as well. We have NFL star Stephon Diggs, we have artist Don Tolliver, and some other celebrities that I didn't recognize, but they all got in line to take a picture with Michelle Lamy. I mean, this woman gets treated with the utmost respect. Her entrances are dramatic. I mean, everyone lines up for it. Everyone's taking pictures. One time she did it with a white horse, and I think we all know the symbolism behind that. Read the book of Revelations. Beyonce's been starting to do this a lot recently too. But just take a look at what Michelle Lamy said at this fashion show.
What do you think of the show?
Heroes, resistance, we will win.
These fashion shows aren't about fashion, but more about how far you'd go to show just how dark you are on the inside. And what did she exactly mean by we will win? Welcome back everyone to the Creepy, Weird and Strange, and if this is your kind of thing, give this video a thumbs up. Let's dive in.
Okay, so having morning breakfast of an egg, and in the yolk is this capsule.
I've never seen anything like that.
And we just broke it open.
There's like white powder.
There's white powder in it.
What is that?
In what brand are these eggs?
Great Day Farms.
Great Day Farms hard-boiled eggs. I would like to know why there's capsules with powder inside your egg yolks. Be careful when you get your Walmart hard-boiled eggs, because apparently now they have capsules. No name, and the powder is everywhere. What did I just put in my body for breakfast? Went to see, let's see if there's another one. My brother just cut this open. Do it in the yolk where it was.
No, it's not in there.
Nope, there's none in this one.
Well, hold on.
Let's see if it's in the other one.
This is insane.
Let's see.
Hold on.
Squish the yolk. No, they only put pills in one. That's the strangest thing.
I don't know. Maybe our cake is.
Hey, Great Day.
Can we do what?
What's up with pills in your eggs? Purchased at Walmart.
No, seriously.
I would like to know what we just had in our breakfast this morning.
Save us, RFK.
RFK needs to come save the day. Get these pills out of our eggs.
This is bad.
She did provide an update stating that the substance has been sent for testing, but there's been no update yet. But we honestly don't know what the heck we're buying in supermarkets these days.
I can't take anymore. I can't take anymore. Look at this. Prince Charles backs face masks for cows to help save planet one burp at a time. We need to get rid of these lunatics. Alright, ASAP. They're on crack or something. They must be. Because this is a crackhead kind of thinking now, innit? It is. Looney Tunes, man. We need to put them all in the hospital where they belong. It's time to wrap it up, slap it up and say enough's enough. Look at this. They've even got the design ready to go, look. These poor animals. What have we done? What have we done, people, to allow this to happen to us? These leaders aren't looking after us. They're looking after everything from biology to social media to kids' genders and pronouns. That ain't their jobs, never was. They stepped into avenues they should not be in, and it's time we removed them, all of them.
So they want to apply face masks on every cow and feed them Bovar so that, you know, they don't have to fart. How about they consume Bovar and put masks on them? I mean, you would see signs of the world healing instantly.
Here's why women in Japan are actually paying to stay in prison. See, Japan's elderly population is skyrocketing, and with it, a shocking trend. There has been a surge in elderly women committing crimes like shoplifting deliberately to get sent to prison because the loneliness on the outside is so severe. In fact, in the last 20 years, years, the number of elderly inmates has risen by almost 300%. You see, because on the outside, these women often live alone with no family to visit them or financial support to rely on. One inmate interviewed said her 43-year-old son, who she was living with, once said to her, "I don't care when you die, I wish you'd just go away." But now she's behind bars, she has routine, people to speak with, meals, and even medical care. Rather than shouting at them, the guards go as far as changing their diapers, helping them bathe, eat, and even take their medication. One said it now feels more like an elderly home rather than a prison full of convicted criminals. There's some that even say they will pay 20 to 30,000 yen a month just to live there forever. And even though they eat their meals in a cell alone in silence, just knowing that others are around is enough.
The sad thing about this is that there's a huge decline in births and having families, and apparently over 24% of the world suffers with loneliness, with about 59% of them acknowledging the negative effects of it. But there's also many people out there who do prefer to have their own company and to be alone.
Look at this. Very strange things are happening to Selena Gomez. And trust me, it's seriously chilling. Not too long ago, she was at the peak of her fame. Yeah, she could sing and dance like no other, but everything changed overnight. You probably already know that she was diagnosed with a pretty rare illness. But on top of that, something even worse happened to her. She revealed that every morning she wakes up terrified, haunted by terrible nightmares where spirits torment her. The problem is, these spirits don't come with good intentions. You heard that right? What she's seeing isn't here to help her. And the consequences? They're shocking. Little by little, she's getting sicker. But worst of all, she's losing her beautiful voice. Just listen to the difference. And the girl who used to be so slim, she's completely changed overnight. She's barely recognizable now. When asked where these voices come from, she refuses to answer, like she's not even allowed to talk about it. And she's not the only celebrity hearing voices in her head. Believe me, these aren't friendly voices. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to share this video with the first person that pops up when you click share then more, so they can see the truth. If you like my videos and want to support me, click the link in my bio.
When you're in that kind of industry and with that level of, Satanism that takes place, it's not surprising in the slightest that she's experiencing demonic things.
A lie that our government is no good, that it's our government who assassinated John F. Kennedy. And I'm here to tell you, it wasn't our government. It was the secret societies known as the Illuminati, the Knights Templar, the Freemasons, who assassinated John F. Kennedy. And the proof is right there for anybody who wants to see it. William Greer was a Freemason. Number one, he was the Secret Service agent who shot Kennedy. Number two, in Dealey Plaza, there's an obelisk, a monument commemorating the location of the first Masonic temple in the state of Texas. Dealey Plaza is on the 33rd parallel, which is one of the sacred numbers in Freemasonry. He was assassinated in a manner that assured the greatest flow of blood, which is called blood atonement, which was practiced by Freemasonry in the early days and supposedly is not practiced now. But in reality is the method of choice of execution, trial and execution by Freemasons. The Bilderberg group that orders his execution is the Supreme World Council of Freemasonry and consists of 39 permanent members, which is 3 times 13, which is also the exact number of men who signed the Constitution. 39. You see, our forefathers were also members of this secret group, and this country was founded to bring about the New World Order. And it's all in the Great Seal of the United States. What
if within the next 13 days or so it came out that this was true and that JFK really was shot by a secret society and it's claimed where this was? I mean, how wild would that be?
Do you know this optical illusion that will literally trick your brain?
What is it?
Okay, so what I want you to do is focus on this black dot in the middle of the screen.
Okay.
So you see how it's a black and white photo, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to add color to this and it's going to change. So you see how there's color now, but keep focusing on the black dot.
Okay.
So what this is going to do is actually going to trick your brain is I'm going to switch it back to black and white and you're going to be able to still see color. So just keep focusing on the black dot.
Right.
It's going to take a little bit of time, but everyone at home just focus on the black dot. And then when it switches back to black and white, you still see color, right?
Wait, what?
But no, it's black and white.
But it's like real, like it's green and blue sky.
So your brain actually was able to fill in the color without it being there.
Wait, what?
I'm a sucker for an illusion, so I thought I'd go ahead and add this in, but did the image change color for you?
I think when we start to meet the gods, and I think we will, we're going to find out that they're not as nice as we want them to be, and they're not as powerful as they want us to think they are, but they do pose a challenge. Fundamentally, right down, bottom line, is this our planet or not? And I think that this is a very good reason for people to sit up and pay attention, because whether you believe in aliens or not, whether you believe in the Illuminati or not, we do have to answer the fundamental question: are we willing to take responsibility for this planet? That is the question of the day. Whether you're an environmentalist or whether you're talking about recapturing the democratic process, whatever your particular angle is, the question is, are you willing to take responsibility for this planet or not? Because there are people and there are beings out there who are wrestling for control of this planet. I'm sure of that. And that, I believe, is where that intersection is occurring.
There are beings who think they are gods who want to take control of this planet, and sadly they are called world leaders. No, but soon there will be an agenda pushed to make us all believe that we are all God.
The tree is fighting for its life. Y'all see this, right? And this is what I'm talking about by they are alive. The plants are alive. When will people realize and wake up and see that our planet is alive and has just much as consciousness as we have? And people really think that we crazy when we go outside and we have a conversation with a tree, or we tell them that trees actually have feelings, they actually have emotions. But that goes to show you that the planet is waking up. I wouldn't be surprised if the planet started fighting back now.
This kind of reminds me of the backstay effect that was conducted back in the 1960s, where plants and living organisms responded to human thoughts and emotions.
Instead, the mainstream media is a public relations office for the official version of events.
Turns out President George W. Bush was right about Saddam Hussein hiding weapons of mass destruction.
The virtually only way or source of information that the public have about this event is from the mainstream media. And what they're looking at stage 2 of problem reaction solution is the reaction of outrage, of key fear. And they want the public to say to the government, something must be done, this can't go on, what are you going to do about it? And this allows stage 3, which is those who've created the problem, glean that public reaction with a false story, to then openly offer the solutions to the problems they have themselves created.
The idea of using tragedy, manufactured or simply utilized, was deeply significant in my finally understanding how far these people will go to achieve their goals. It's a documented fact that we entered the Vietnam War under false pretenses. Former Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara has acknowledged that the attack on a ship in the Gulf of Tonkin didn't actually take place.
Our judgment that we've been attacked that day was wrong. It didn't happen.
More recently, former President Bush used non-existent weapons of mass destruction as a pretext for invading Iraq. Tactics like this are sometimes referred to as false flag operations. An increasing number of people believe that 9/11 was a false flag operation by the global elite in order to set the stage for taking over Middle East oil and dismantling U.S. constitutional protections. Most of what's needed for a police state is actually already in place. Right now in America, any of us can be imprisoned without warning or due cause, and we can be kidnapped, tortured, and assassinated legally if the government decides what we are doing is a threat to their plan. All they have to do is name us as a suspect in their so-called war on terror. We're being watched more and more. In 2010, there were 30 million surveillance cameras recording us in the US alone. When we demonstrate, we're now relegated to what are euphemistically called free speech zones.
Hopefully for all of you in the States, you will start to see more positive change.
The plan is to bring in a universal basic income and basically give you free money, and they're going to make it sound so idyllic. Like they're giving you free money to decrease your financial pressure, but it's going to come with a cost. It's going to come with a digital ID where they are going to be able to control every single part of your life, right? So how do we stop this happening? Because the way things are going right now, if we don't act as people together, this is going to happen, and there's going to be nothing you can do about it. The system is so well designed, it has everybody under so much control that they're just going to be able to roll this out, and they're not going to need your permission, right? So what can we do about it? Well, this is why I'm starting the Abundance Project, and you're going to be able to go to the link in my bio, and you're going to be able to download the manifesto for this thing to show you exactly how we as individuals get out of it. And I know a lot of people get in touch with me and they say, how can we do it? What can I do? How do we get out of this? Well, never underestimate the power that you have as an individual, because if you make the changes in your life that are necessary in order to free yourself from this system, mentally, physically, financially, and we do it together as a collective, we change the world. So you can do everything. It's in your power to change everything for yourself and for the future and for your family. Go to the link in my bio, download the Abundance Project manifesto, and have a look and see what you think.
Elon Musk talked about this recently as well, but honestly, I do think that there will come a time where this will be implemented for all of us, but like everything else, nothing is free, like he said, and no doubt that there'll be a form of digital ID and social score.
We learn about one fire. We learn about the Chicago Great Fire.
There was a lot of fanfare over Mrs. O'Leary's cow kicking over the lantern.
The legend is that Mrs. O'Leary's cow in a barn kicked over a lantern, and that caused the entire fire. And poor Mrs. O'Leary and her family had their lives ruined because of this.
I remember going to summer camp, and we're sitting around the campfire, and it's one dark night when we were all in bed. Bum, bum, bum. Old Miss O'Leary took a lantern to her shed, and when the cow kicked it over, she turned around and said, there'll be a hot time in the old town tonight. Fire, fire, fire. And we would yell fire louder and louder with each verse, and we do this like 10 times to where it was echoing back to us across the lake. And now when I think about it, it's like how many kids were singing this song about this stupid story. It's like an incantation, and it's spellcasting. Where did this song come from? Well, lo and behold, as an architect with the keen interest in history, I come to find out only within the last few years that there were fires in every major city. And then I come to find out that it's not just wooden shanty town built out of matchsticks. We're looking at city after city.
New York, Boston, you come down to Florida, Jacksonville, Miami. Every major city at one point was burned to the ground. Ancient metropolises that were burned down as if they were made from wood. Very quickly. Now we can speculate as to what the source of that destruction was. From above, from below, arson, biblical destruction, you name it. Nonetheless, every major city in America, if not Europe and the entire world, saw a great devastation by a fire.
The pictures are strange. The sequence of events that are supposed to have taken place are strange. Just a lot of clues. So again, they're saying, okay, everything was built out of wood. It caught fire. So we came in and we built all of these beautiful structures to make sure they wouldn't burn down again.
You look at any major city, they suffered this same fate. In Jacksonville, we actually had a fire where there are first-hand accounts of people who were escaping the fire. They were sitting up on a hill watching Jacksonville burn. They said that things on their persons started spontaneously combusting. Things that were made of certain materials were combusting. This was happening back in the late 1800s. No suitable explanation. But they're in a covered carriage what happens? Materials on their body are still spontaneously combusting out of nowhere. Now, how could that be the case if this is a local fire spreading to anything that it touches? These people were hundreds of yards away, and you can go look up your own city, the closest major city to you, and you'll find this same fate.
Seattle burned down, the downtown. 2 months later, Ellensburg, which was at that time a major city in central Washington territory, burned down. 2 months after that, Spokane, which was another major city on the eastern flank of the territory. And when I discovered that, I just went, hold on a second. Like, there's something else entirely going on.
And some are still in use, but the ones that are inconvenient to the narrative, they just want gone. And there's also probably a component of the energy grid in all of this as well. Keep what they can use. They keep what benefits them. And at some point they determine, okay, we don't need that anymore.
Part of the story of the fires is that the fire chief wasn't in town at the time. He was away on some conference. And so the command structure was broken, so the mayor at the time in Seattle was the one that was calling shots. And he was making decisions that they should go in and make what they call fire breaks between buildings, meaning actually bringing dynamite into buildings and blowing them up. And that's acknowledged. And that's acknowledged in Boston, the Boston fire, in city after city, what's called a tactic to contain fires. And then they often say, well, look back in retrospect, maybe it wasn't the best idea.
Not too sure why, but as I was watching this clip, LA came to my mind. But yeah, I mean, were these numerous fires set on purpose? Was it there to destroy evidence of, old world buildings, or even to destroy free energy?
Your houseplants may know a little bit more about you than you might think. Wait until you hear this. Well, according to some recent studies, they put EEG, which is an electro-sensor thing, on the plant. And then they'd send the owner of the plant, or the person who planted the plant, out of the house. And when that person starts heading back home and is within 2 kilometers of the plant, the frequencies of the plant start to increase. It gets excited. Your plants literally know when their owner is coming home, and they get excited just like your damn dog, or maybe cat. Cats don't usually, but dogs get so excited when you come home. Your plants do the same thing. They know you, and they can feel you coming through the vibrational interconnected freaking consciousness.
Can you imagine coming home after a long day and you just fire yourself through the front door, and there it is, your plant is jumping up and down to greet you, you wagging its one leaf?
Did you come alone, or is there somebody else with you? Wow, look at you.
I don't have nails like that. Like, it's not me.
Oh, my back's burning.
Is it really?
My back's burning.
Oh my god! No, you're kidding!
Stop.
Even as a demon, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
My name's Forrest Gump, but the kids outside the office call me Forrest Gimp. Do you want to know what me ma used to say? I couldn't give 2 shites. Me ma said life's like a box of Stella. You don't know if you're going to get into a scrap or not once you've had a few. She proper loved her ale. So, what does the future hold for me, ma? Well, as long as you're not a complete helmet, you'll be okay. What's that supposed to mean? Life is like a box of Stella, Forrest. Fuck's sake, here we go. You can end up into a scrap or not once you've had a few. I did a few times. Especially with Christine across the road, who's a right bitch. So what you do, sat here at the park all day? I just sit here and smoke bifters and read my favourite magazine. Do you want to see my favourite magazine? Yeah, go ahead.
That's all I have for you today, and thanks very much for watching. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, or even share, as it really does help the video reach out to more people. But until then, and until the next video, everyone, please stay safe, and I'll see you then.